Oh, hello there, Site-42 staff, and welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site-42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for over a year and 2 months, because that's right, the daily stream streak remains strong, I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e., fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 2 to 3 hours, depending on how zesty our stream feels today. But before we go into our stream subject followed by our general Q&A, let me start with a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, CD23. Congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Alongside you, Amber, 369 Destroyer, Yusavar, LARP Site-42, Puppet Boy, Senior Researcher Alex, Legendary Doge, Rune, Eli ND, everybody who I have just named alongside Froy as well, even though that's 2 accounts you're on, Froy. Thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of Site-42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, interns, 100 stars, Bored as Hell, Rain, 051, Goober, Aspectus, Tenneling, and Pereira. Thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here, interns, just for being you. Now, you will notice that I am still wearing the tie-dye rainbow-colored lab coat. Yes, Pride Month may have come to an end yesterday, but this is just a special extra day for the LGBTQIA fans of Site-42 and the greater SCP Foundation. To remind you, just because Pride Month is over does not mean that you are forgotten. The SCP Foundation is an LGBTQIA-friendly space. I have and always have been and will be a theater kid. The gays, they're all right. Especially around these parts. Furthermore, we have a quick stream start visit from Puppy of Interest 42, codenamed Charlie. Charlie has come forth to say hello to you, Containment Hazard Assessment Team, the Puppy of Interest, the sweetest pumpkin, currently residing at Site-42. She is a happy little girl. She is adorable. We all know this. And she is here, as she always is, to say hello to you, because she lives for the attention. That and the Containment Hazard Assessment Team mandated treaties. Treats for the treat bab. Very good baby, very sweetie. And now, be free. Now, for today's stream subject, I do believe you can read the byline of the stream title, and you will know quite clearly what we are talking about today. In another iteration of internet horror making its way to the big screen, it has been announced that the rights for the Siren Head movie have been purchased. Oh, don't do that. Don't press that button. Go away. No one asked for this. There we go. Better. That is correct. A Siren Head movie has been greenlit. I am particularly excited because I am a fan of Zach Kreger. I enjoyed the Weapons movie. I look forward to his Resident Evil adaptation. And, of course, I was a fan of Zach Kreger back at the comedy troupe The Whitest Kid You Know. And so I'm an old school Kreger head. But it seems, and forcing the dark mode, oh no, that's just blurry because they're advertising. Get rid of the advertisement. Apparently, the Siren Head movie rights were a 7-figure deal. The Siren Head movie rights were a 7-figure deal. While Trevor will not be working on the movie, at least from what I see so far, Trevor Henderson is involved with selling the rights properly since it is Trevor's baby. Charger Play, Siren Head is worth $1 million? At least. 7 figures means the rights, the sale of the rights, went into the millions. And so we will see what story and script comes from that. But there is a second piece to this stream subject, which is the MALDING. The shitting and crying and wailing and pissing everywhere that I personally am doing, because what do you mean? Backrooms, which came after SCP, and Siren Head, which came after SCP. Where is my SCP movie? Where? How? Why? Give me the SCP movie. Why is it? Why are we going in reverse time order? Why are all the younger siblings getting the best toys? How like life, maybe? Jiminy fucking sakes. And so, yes, Charger, by the way, Siren Head is not an SCP reminder. Probably why it's getting a movie. I'm sorry. There is spite in my voice. We will continue our attempts to get an SCP movie made and into theaters, which will branch off into an SCP cinematic universe, which will have SCP series involved, which will have SCP animes, not just Galleonic single short film anime, but I want a season, I want a series of animated shows, both in the anime style and in the Western animation style. We need more independent creators who are making SCP projects, and we, as the SCP Foundation community, need to keep supporting them. We did not succeed with SCP Containment Breach, the movie by Keter Labs, but we need to keep fighting. One way or another, this will happen. Which, before I move on to the general Q&A, brings me roundly into our sponsor segment. Site-42 staff, due to the events of yesterday, we have begun the process of sending me, Dr. Theron Sherman from Site-42 of the SCP Foundation, to a YouTuber convention called Open Sauce. Open Sauce 2026 happens to be hosted in my hometown. I could literally walk down the street to go to this convention. It is featuring many, many prominent YouTubers in the tech, gaming, H-Bomber guy is there, so the video essay space. Corridor Crew will be there from the film space. Hank Green will be there, prominent YouTube guy. Odd One is out, animations. I keep seeing Little Gem here, and I keep saying, well, that's a really cool Freddy Fazbear Nightmare Golden Freddy head. Be really cool if we could get some practical effects like that in an SCP movie. And so there are tons of YouTube's massive creators going to be at this one convention down the street from me in approximately 3 weekends. I want to go to there to act as SCP YouTube's representative. Yes, Aaron from Game Grumps. Yes, Doug will be there. I want to be SCP YouTube's representative to say, hey guys, we exist. I got 1 million followers by doing SCP content. Maybe you should talk to us. Maybe you should hook up. We could make movies. But general admission is $216 for 2 of the 3 days. The 3-day admission jumps up to $835. And the VIP admission, which would give us all the behind-the-scenes meet and greets to really make sure I got time to talk to these creators and make an impression and network, is nearly $1,600. Barring... Okay, that was just me fat fingering the microphone button. Do not fret. We're back. So, suffice it to say, staff, I don't know where I got cut off, but long story short, this is an expensive convention. I would have to miss work to go to this convention. The odds, I mean, if we're going to send anyone, I'm a rather charming and enthusiastic person. It's a gamble if networking pays off in any way, but at least I'm a better investment than your average Joe. And so, the question is, essentially I'm asking you guys, this is our sponsorship segment, if you guys wish to donate a little more than usual in the coming weeks, every bit we raise to help blunt the effect of me going to this convention is helpful. And so, bored as hell, thank you for telling me I sound like a good spokesman. I do consider myself to be a decent yapper, at least here on YouTube and with the different companies I've spoken about, into helping them to utilize SCP content successfully. So, Site-42 staff, I would appreciate your generosity in this moment to send me to this convention, to help me cover the tickets, to help me to not suffer from missing work for this event. Yesterday, we had some generous people help out. That got us about, I'd say, either almost halfway to the $800 ticket or a third of the way to the $1,500 ticket. The higher we get on this thermometer of success, the more access I will have to these other YouTubers, because I would be going as a patron, which means I would need to rub some particular elbows and grease some particular palms by going for the bigger tickets. So, I appreciate your generosity, and I am adding a stream incentive today to up the donation value. We're playing a little game with the chat, which is, I did not choose a credit song for today's stream. I am letting today's highest donor pick the credit song for the end of stream today, which again, will end in about 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours and 45 minutes, depending on how long stream goes. But whoever donates the most today will pick the credit song. If I don't know the credit song, I will listen to it and learn it to the best of my ability. And furthermore, as I see people saying I can't afford to donate, I understand that. Remember, starving artists is the SCP Foundation. It's the artist's way. You guys are helping me with this because I am a shorts and stream creator, which is not the most lucrative form of YouTubing. I do not do long-form videos very often due to my work and due to streaming and all that. Therefore, the CPM values on a YouTube stream for ads is very low. That being said, you will, to the best of your ability, help me out with this. as you can, but do not harm yourselves in doing so. Your generosity is appreciated, but not required. Now, with our stream subject and sponsorship, most at once or in total. Intern Ace. I do believe I will say highest single donation. That way I can keep track of it without having to do a bunch of math at the end of stream, especially if stream resets and it hides a bunch of donations so I can't do the math right. So as you guys donate today, Desk will keep track of who donates the most to choose the stream song. The stream credit song. If you had one quote for the world, what would it be? Intern Nemo, if I had one quote for the world, it would be, keep shouting. Keep shouting has always served me well. Do not be silenced. Do not let yourself be tread over. Make your voice heard, whether it's for an important societal need or whether it's for a silly art project. Keep shouting. Keep creating and keep shouting. All right, let me catch up on the donations that have come in thus far, and we will have general Q&A for the rest of stream. Desk, go ahead and put Ace of Luck as our current top donor with the song request. I do know that song, so there's at least that. All right, Ace of Luck, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a cold one on your way past the commissary. It's so goddamn hot out, did daybreak, Jesus fuck. Yeah. Speaking of keeping shouting about maybe climate change and issues that might ruin the future, sorry you're dealing with that where you are. Yusavar, thank you for sending 5 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have currently made them a 5-star chat. Congratulations on your top ranking. Let us hope that you successfully keep a 5-star ranking throughout today's stream chat. Soundwave Prime, thank you for sending 10 doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend those doubloons wisely. Intern Venus, thank you for sending 7 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They gained a prestige rank, actually 2 prestige ranks, but then they ended up a 2-star ranked team, so they're still working their way up to that 5-star again. Soundwave Prime, thank you for sending 6 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You gave them another prestige rank, which is excellent, and now they are a 3-star team, one step closer to that repeated 5-star ranking. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating twice again. First to say the song request, which Desk has in the chat for me. That way I can keep track of that in case you win the bidding war. And Ace of Luck also asks, which SCP would be the main star of the movie? You saw nothing. So the thing is, there's so many SCPs that would make for good movies. A movie about SCP When Day Breaks, where it could be a disaster movie, where we see it coming and we try to prevent it, but then we can't, then we try to deal with the aftermath. You could do a sort of Fallout-esque lone wanderer in a suit that protects them from the sunlight, that allows them to traverse the landscape, avoid monsters, get to bases of operations. Could be very Mad Maxian. When Day Breaks could fuel a lot of good movie scenarios on its own. SCP-5000 would make an excellent rip-roaring action travel movie. Do Not Go Gentle Into That Shark Night is a kaiju movie of the Shark Punching Center versus a giant sharktopus. There's so many excellent SCP movie concepts, it's hard to pick. I think the answer is the one that inspires a filmmaker to make a movie out of it and inspires investors to help them make that movie. I think that's my first answer. Indo, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now a 4-star team. Intern Frinkle-Boing, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some fruitied pebbles on your way past the commissary. Could the Foundation contain Osman Sinux or Heaven from Brutal Orchestra? I don't know what any of those things are, but I can take a quick look at the internet database and see what I can find. Osman Sinux. Brutal Orchestra Osman. Osman Sinux is a tall and mysterious man and is one of the 2 final bosses in the garden. So there's some sort of game. Moves around the battlefield constantly, battering your team with damage and potentially applying curse before finishing off with his mortal horizon, instantly killing the opposing party member. Right extrusion. So it punches. Punches. Moves you on the battlefield. Instantly separates fiction from reality. So we would need to engender the aid of the Pataphysics Division, because this is a metafictional entity, apparently. So, we would have our souls ripped from our author's control if we really tried to mess with it. Have our narrative completely obliterated. So we would need the Pataphysics Division to help us figure out the scenario there. Interesting, interesting. Not a lot of games with pataphysical entities. Neat. Intern Squishy Company, thank you for sending 5 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have granted them another prestige rank, and they still remain at a 4-star ranking. Intern Ditto, thank you for donating again. I can't believe we onboarded a notorious parapharmacologist onto staff, and yet somehow this happened in this particular universe. Wild. They don't respect the capitalist hustle of Sherman. Send regard and 100 extra more oeni than normal for thoughts. Say hello to funny YouTubers. Tell them to follow traffic law. Okay, I will tell any YouTuber that I encounter at said convention to obey the traffic laws, I guess. Siren Head movie, yes, Intern Khan. The Siren Head movie is in the news as the rights have just been sold. There was a... Let me read from the article from Hollywood Reporter slightly. Hollywood found its newest obsession, and this meme won't be found in any internet backrooms. That's not a very clever byline. You really need to work on that intern kit. Coming out of on top of a 5-studio bidding war with a massive multi-million-dollar deal, Warner Brothers Pictures has picked up the underlying rights to Siren Head, viral horror sensation created by Trevor Henderson. So Warner Brothers is the winner of the multi-million-dollar bidding war for the Siren Head film rights. Weapons filmmaker Zach Kreger is on board to produce, with Brian Duffield is helping to write it as well. I'm not familiar with Duffield, but it looks like Duffield is slated to direct. And so Siren Head is getting a movie before SCP now, too. Bitter. Broton is talking about Siren Head in the big 2026. Intern, for real, I cannot help what the news is saying, okay? I'm just delivering it. Internet horror is making Hollywood waves, and apparently we're getting a Siren Head movie before SCP movie. Ridiculous. Now, this is no hate to Trevor Henderson or Siren Head. Great, I love the concepts, nothing wrong at all. Go, Trevor, get your bag, do it. The only thing I'm annoyed at is that SCP still doesn't have its movie deal yet. But we will continue to fight. We will continue to make our way, one way or another. What site do you work at? Intern Whoosh. This is the sign of the answer to your question going whoosh straight over your head. Please read the channel title of this channel. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say. Senior researcher Alex said they saw you drop the pen. Perception is weird like that, isn't it? Open the door, Al. 05 wants a few words. Well, I don't know what the deal with Al is, weird or banal, but that's a conversation for another day. Furthermore, no one, senior researcher Alex or otherwise, saw me drop any pens. That didn't happen, so you could not have seen it. I mean, maybe senior researcher Alex had a vision of a future where I did drop the pen. That might be the case, but I mean, this reality, that didn't happen. Intern Farrell, thank you for sending a flow state to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm certain they will lock in. Intern Fantastic and Dr. G, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Would you rather an SCP movie or series? Intern LL. ¿Por qué no los dos? Both is good. Yeah, both. There's over 10,000 stories on the SCP database. There's material that would be good as a series. There would be material that is good as movies. But what we need is people with the talent and investment capital to make them. The talent, we have a pretty good check on. The investment capital, not as much. Ugh. Starving artists, am I right? Intern 2029, thank you for sending 5 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They now have another prestige rank and are still a 4-star ranked chat. Almost 5 stars. You're so close. Intern Farrell, thank you for sending a Let 'em Cook to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will whip up a fine dining experience for your artistic taste buds. I'm new to SCP. Where should I get started? Intern Assassin. Consider the SCP Wiki like the entirety of the world of comic books. When people want to get into comic books, they pick characters they like and they read about them. When you go to the SCP database, you're looking at thousands of different unrelated stories under the umbrella of, oh, this is in the SCP universe. So pick some stories you like and then read things that are linked to them. Read canons you're interested in. It's a little bit of just grazing through different things to get acquainted with the community. Also, keep watching content creators like myself and other SCP content creators. We talk about a lot of SCP articles, and maybe one will tickle your fancy, and you can go read about it. Intern FBI agent and intern Axon, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. So I'm hearing there's going to be a Siren Head movie. Yes, intern Redar. Yes, it has just been announced that Siren Head's movie rights have been bought for multiple $1 million. So, bravo to Trevor Henderson for getting that bag, my friend. But, god damn it, Backrooms gets a movie. SCP gets a movie. No, Backrooms gets a movie. Siren Head gets a movie. Where's the SCP movie, I might add? Like zoinks! I'm not seeing very much love for the OG giant internet horror creative collaborative project. But it'd be very nice if they did. Be very cool if someone rode up with a big sack of money to the SCP movie fund. You saw nothing. Intern Farrell, thank you for sending a sundae to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they enjoyed the sweet treat. Now, reminder chat that we are currently crowdfunding, us in the Site 42 community. All your donos for the next couple of weeks are going to raising funds for me to go to a local YouTuber convention. And when I say local, I mean it's a national convention of YouTubers, but they are in my neck of the woods, which means I can go without having to pay for travel. The tickets are very expensive, and I would have to take time off work. But if you guys help me with those donations, I will do my best to be the representative of the SCP community in hobnobbing with these other YouTubers, convincing them, hey, we're pretty cool. You should make content about the SCP community. You should help us make an SCP movie at some point. So we thank you for your generosity in helping us to do that. Fox Packs & Co., thank you for your 27 months as a Mobile Task Force captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your long-term membership and service. Good evening, Dr. Sherman. The Evie we discovered a few months ago is doing well. The unit who adopted her named her Hattie. What do you think she'll evolve into? Well, I don't think... I can't guess, because don't Eevees evolve only through very intentional means? So it's not something we can guess. It's whoever's in charge of evolving the Eevee. And I can't read their mind. Now, Brian, the parasitic centipede that lives in my shoulder and has a psychic connection to me, who can also read other people's minds, would be able to read the mind of that person who's in charge of evolving the Eevee. So bring him over, and then I'll have a better guess. How is Brian? Brian is learning how to not cause me such a fuss. There's still a little lump where you can tell Brian's in here, but definitely he has burrowed further. It has burrowed. Sorry, I'm getting kind of used to having Brian in my head, so proper pronoun parlance protocols become harder. Don't humanize the anomalies, people. But yes, at some point we're going to have to remove Brian from my shoulder and put Brian into a proper habitable environment. How hard would it be to make the SCP movie? Intern Aleo. So, an SCP movie at first, just making movies in general, is difficult and expensive. So, at first blush, you're already looking at a very large and difficult task. And the reason that Hollywood and the big studios don't want to touch SCP is because they do not have the right to completely own the rights to whatever they make. Whereas Siren Head, which just had its rights sold, is copyright by Trevor Henderson, but Trevor Henderson can give the rights away in return for money so that people can make movies about it. SCP is Creative Commons, meaning anybody can take an SCP work, repurpose it, and monetize their work for themselves, as long as they follow the rules of the Creative Commons license. Now, that would mean that it's very easy to pirate the SCP movie if it's made. Now, Keter Labs brings up a very important point, which is what used to be the backbone of Hollywood filmmaking was releasing a film in theaters, but the real money was from selling physical copies afterwards, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. Now, in the streaming landscape, there's not really physical media sales. In fact, I just read Sony PlayStation is going to stop manufacturing physical discs soon. They're only going to be releasing games for digital download, if I read the article correctly. And so with that in mind, since DVD sales are no longer on the menu for how studios are making money in general movies, that means the piracy issue is kind of a non-issue, as Keter Labs puts it. Because then the theater experience, going to see it with people, which we've just shown with the Backrooms and Obsession, can be hundreds of millions of dollars just from people going to see it in theaters together for the communal experience. An SCP movie is financially viable as long as you get people to go see it. So, that is our mission right now, is to convince Hollywood of that fact, or, barring that, we do it ourselves. But it requires a heck of a lot of money to make a feature film. And so here at Site 42, we are building ourselves to a point where we have the resources and personnel to make SCP projects like that. But until we are there, we are supporting other groups of indie film teams with marketing and shoutouts and things like that, as well as other SCP filmmakers, animators, game devs, podcasters, merch makers, as well as the SCP Wiki and its authors and artists. An SCP Foundation movie would be epic, maybe even more famous than the Backrooms movie. We need this movie for SCP fans like you, me, and everyone here. I agree wholeheartedly. Intern, I'm going to call you Intern Epic. I agree completely. What personnel do you think should be the main character if the SCP Foundation got a movie? Also, what would be your dream casting for any character? So, when it comes to... see, the problem is we still have to talk about what SCP movie. What story do you want to tell? My ideal, like, when I think of a series, I think of a series like The X-Files or Warehouse 13, where you have a couple low-level agents going out in the field to find and maybe fight and contain anomalous objects or locations or entities. You could get a very good episodic series with a couple low-level agents. Now, when you talk about the big staff, my Gears fan cast is still Giancarlo Esposito, if he's still interested in those kind of quietly villainous, straight-laced villain roles, except not really a villain in this case. In my opinion, if we were getting an SCP series, it would probably be an X Factory-esque series. I'm not familiar with X Factory. I've never heard of this. Dr. Sherman, how would we stop an evil Dr. Sherman? LARPing desk. To stop an evil Dr. Sherman, you would simply have to hand him a microphone and put a spotlight on him. He will stay put for a very long time, singing and speechifying and yapping. For the movie, would you have to do most of the CGI for SCPs like 096682 and 457, but not all like 1 and 73 and 049? Well, intern Alale, the practical versus CG question is a question of budget and skill. For instance, my Dream When Day Breaks project would be practical effects for the flesh monster similar to the works of David Cronenberg. You can get some real nasty fleshy monsters with the right practical effects. But it depends on the anomaly, it depends on the budget. Would a claymation SCP movie be a good idea if you have the money? Intern Pookie. So, claymation is a very labor-intensive form of filmmaking. Not to say I don't like the idea of stop motion in general, claymation in general. I'm sure you can make something very creative with that. Now, claymation, Lego movies, things like that, they definitely would take for a more comedic SCP film, I think. Although Coraline did get pretty horrifying. So, depending on how you play it with your stop motioning, I'm not sure if claymation would be the way. But no, with proper suspension of disbelief, I think you can get away with it. Any format can be done if the medium is used well and if the story fits that medium. So the question is just, what movie are you making and does it lend itself to that? Claymation and stop motion is interesting, like animation in general, because it gives you a wider scope of what you can keep within the suspension of disbelief window. In live action, it will be harder to make the anomalous entities look realistic in what they do look realistic with practical and or CG effects. Whereas if it's animation or claymation, because everything exists within the medium, it makes it less of a suspension of disbelief. Does Site 42 have a Twitch channel? Intern Assassin, we do have a Twitch, but we don't use it right now. We're thinking of plans with what to do with it. If the Siren Head movie is actually good, do you think we can get films of creatures like Cartoon Cat or Longhorse? Catexilla, it depends on the character, it depends on the lore, it depends on what kind of movie it could be made. Honestly, I'm a little perplexed as to what a Siren Head movie would entail. I'm trying to roll it around in my brain like, what is the horror movie scenario most like a Siren Head movie? Because Siren Head is a big son of a gun. It's almost a kaiju movie. So I don't think Siren Head is going to be like Godzilla. You saw nothing. What do you guys think a Siren Head movie's story would be? How would that work? Is it kind of like a Bigfoot movie where they're out in the woods? A combination of Siren Head and the SCPs in the movie would be awesome. Well, intern Epic, that would take a whole bunch of copyright foo to get over the Creative Commons and the copyright of Siren Head. So I wouldn't put my betting money on that. I technically wouldn't put my betting money on anything because I don't have betting money because with the way gambling sites are right now as scams, I'm just avoiding that whole mess. Don't gamble on those gambling sites. It's bad for you. See, everyone in the chat is coming up with like short scenes from a Siren Head movie, like people at a campground and then Siren Head attacks, or someone lonely walking through the woods, or hunting Siren Head and then gets attacked. That's a scene, but I'm trying to think of how you build the tension for an entire movie based on monster in the woods. Giant monster in the woods. That's my curiosity. I'm trying to think of giant monster in the woods movies. Because plenty of Friday the 13th, plenty of Jason movies take place in the woods, but also that's a human-sized guy. Siren Head is part of something bigger like an Eldritch entity. Well, the movie, the Siren Head movie news report does mention that Kreger was interested in the universe of Siren Head. I believe that's the word Where did I find that? YouTube animation, Gen Zers became fixated, viral phenomenon. The deal isn't just a play for some hot meme, however. Siren Head has evolved into its own monster mythology, whose allure attracted Kreger and Duffield. The duo are said to have found a take into the world that jazzed them into collaborating and in turn excited the studios into bidding. So there's something about the Siren Head mythos universe lore that these guys think they have a take on. Again, I trust Kreger. I am interested. I don't doubt. I just off the top of my head don't know what it is. Maybe a found footage thing, a group of maybe abandoned house explorers who come across Siren Head while exploring. Yes, Alien Mint, that's found footage seems to be a common consensus for Siren Head, especially the short videos that have made online. The thing is, once again, you think Blair Witch Project when you think of found footage movies, and they're going to investigate something in the woods. I wonder, I don't know, does Siren Head lore have anything about the spaces around Siren Head being spookier? Some sort of area of effect of weird? Or is it just there's a big monster out there in the woods? Are they making an SCP movie? Intern Lucas, there's not an SCP movie in the works right now. There is the Keter Labs SCP Contained Breach the movie Kickstarter, which failed. And so they are in the midst of debriefing, figuring out what went wrong so they can try again later with a better success. There are some SCP film projects upcoming, short film projects, that I will keep you aware of. And we need to support those because if they can get bigger and better, they might work their way to making movies. Especially if we can get all the SCP film teams to collaborate because they are both artistically and financially successful on YouTube. But it's going to take some time. Intern Britain, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself some calming jasmine tea on your way past the commissary. Vibe check passed. You're damn right, Intern Britain. You're damn right. Site 42 always passes the vibe check. Thanks, Dr. Sherman, for the update on Les Short movies. I was wanting to watch some of them. When I am allowed to say something about it, you will know. In fact, the one thing I know I'm allowed to say something about is keep an eye on the channel on YouTube, Dark Math Films. They have the pilot episode of their SCP live-action series, SCP Academy, up on the YouTube channel, and they are planning to fundraise episode 2 starting in about a month. So keep an eye on their channel, give them some support, because episode 2, they need to raise some funds to film it. Intern Zip, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You've just upgraded the chat to a 5-star ranked team. Congratulations on reaching the pinnacle, at least for the time being. If we get an SCP Overlord sequel as a full-length movie, I had to sacrifice my left kidney to the Scarlet King. Intern Jedi. I do know that Altavision Studios, the new studio of the Evan Royalty Group, I believe, just greenlit and kickstarted successfully another short. Is it SCP Blood Meridian, I believe? So, yes, I do believe they're in the midst of the next short, but of course, their short needs to be better received artistically and financially so they can go to make a movie. It's Black Meridian, thank you. Thank you. It was BL something. I think an SCP show is better than an SCP movie. Intern Power Scaler. Por qué no los dos? Some SCP stories are better for movies, a single long story. Some SCPs are better for being part of a series. It's gotta be both, baby. It's gotta be both. Altavision is Stephen Hancock. Did not Altavision work with Evan Royalty? Altavision, SCP. Yes, produced Overlord, Dollhouse, and so Stephen Hancock. So what's the relationship between Stephen Hancock and Evan Royalty? Yeah, so they're two guys who work together. So I guess maybe Stephen Hancock moved on from Evan Royalty, and that's why it's a different group. Cal saying Evan Royalty was the writer for Dollhouse and Overlord. Stephen Hancock directed them. Thank you for the intel and clarification. Yeah, I've only talked to the Evan Royalty team once in very short, back when they were kickstarting for SCP Heretic. They asked me to help out with that, but then we never finished talking, and then they ran their Kickstarter and it didn't succeed, and then things happened. So I never really heard from them again, but I hope they're doing well and making more movies. The SCP film space thriving is my basic fight here. Intern Alki, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. While they have gained another prestige rank as a chat, they are now a 1-star ranked chat for the time being, so they need to work their way back up. Intern Lopez, I hope you are not currently on shift since you are, quote, so baked right now. And I will have you know that despite the fact of my tie-dye rainbow pride-themed lab coat, this is not a My Little Pony cosplay, despite how many times fan artists have drawn me as a pony for some reason. How do you get the gradient in the hair? By dyeing different chunks different colors. Current list of creepypastas with movies. Siren Head, Slender Man, Backrooms, Boriska, Russian Sleep Experiment, The Rake, and Black Eyed Children. Thank you, Charger, for the intel. We could probably use some more, though. We could probably use some SCP ones, though. Intern Winner, thank you for sending a 6-7 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure that they are going to be entertained at Desk's annoyance. Sherman coin when? Intern Zinc Z. We are not shilling crypto at the SCP Foundation. Don't buy into crypto. It's a scam. Everyone gets rug pulled. It's a whole thing. Even our dumbass president rug pulled his fans. Don't fall for scams. Do your best to not fall for scams. Everyone gets tricked once in a while, but try to mitigate the damage. Intern Drilly, let me know about this SCP series on TikTok you have eyes on if you figure out what it is. If you're talking about the anime series, you might be talking about SCP Galleonic, the group we collaborated with to get their Kickstarter funded. SCP the anime, we called it, even though it's just going to be a single short film, but in a very high-quality anime style. OMG, I just realized y'all didn't mean a physical coin. I was thinking of the Complexly coin. You know, Amber, I have actually considered doing a Complexly coin or something like that, just as a neat memento, but I have not pulled the trigger on that idea. And right now, while everything is kind of terrible in the world and people don't have a lot of spare money, I want to wait and give people the opportunity to recover from the hells. What's a complexity coin? Intern Alki, Complexly is the company by Hank Green that funds the channel's SciShow, the Hank Green Educational Network. And that company sells challenge coins once a year to fund it. That way they don't have to take outside investment. So they sell coins. You buy a commemorative coin each year for a certain amount of money. It's a fundraising community effort. Dr. Sherman, what would you do if a politician was interested in the SCP community? Well, it depends on the politician. For sure. The more I look at your outfit, I think of Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Intern Lopez. Love the Muppets. I'll take the comparison there. By the way, Dr. Sherman, did you know about SCP Containment Breach the movie? Yes, Intern Drilly. Actually, I was slated to be in that movie if it was successfully funded. We were advertising it every day of the Kickstarter. Unfortunately, the SCP community did not coalesce around that particular project. SCP TikTok is definitely a different view on the SCP community. Lots of different there than other platforms, at least in the sense of what's posted. Well, Intern Freud, to be fair, TikTok is very different as a platform than any other community. And especially since Amino dried up, a lot of the kids on Amino ended up on TikTok as well. And so that's shaped things. There's a lot of complaining from the SCP community that SCP TikTok especially seems to be very, very averse to actually visiting the wiki and reading the proper works, which is why they spread so much misinformation about the SCP community, unfortunately. Site 42 staff, just as a quick note and time check, we are currently 1 hour into this 2 to 3 hour stream. And remember, today's sponsor is the Send Dr. Sherman to the YouTube Convention Fund. There is an upcoming YouTube convention in my hometown. I would have to take time off of work to do there, and the tickets are hella expensive. And so if you guys have the funds to donate a little extra this month, this week actually, To help me go there, I am hoping to be our representative of the SCP and the Site-42 communities to the different famous YouTubers there to say, hey, have you ever heard of SCP? You ever think of making works in the SCP Foundation? You ever want to help us make a movie in the future? If we can make some friends then in the bigger YouTube space, especially with the YouTube general staff who will be there, it would be a very helpful scenario. And also, as a fun game today, whoever donates the most in one donation to today's stream gets to pick the credit song that will take place at the end of stream. Right now, the current winner is $20 by Ace of Luck and the song Everywhere I Go by Hollywood Undead. I'm too broke, but take a like and a view. Intern Lynch, especially for the broke gang, we are starving artists in the arts community. We understand that, so we do thank you for your engagement. If you can't donate money, then donating your time and effort is the next best thing. Spread the word. Gosh darn it, stay tall so that the camera frames properly. This is what I get for having a little springy tripod. Intern Skywarp, thank you for sending 3 sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will enjoy cleaning up another 3 glitter bombs. Jiminy sakes, let me pull this back here. Rearrange. That looks like it's going to sit properly. Intern Torres, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself a pack of red vines on your way past the commissary. We need to spread the great word of the SCP Foundation to the normies. JK. Well, I would not mind some more normies getting into the SCP Foundation. I don't like the word normies, since it's been taken on by a lot of right-wing weirdos. I try not to use that word as often. But your average I especially want reading fans to understand that the SCP Wiki kind of rocks. There is a literacy crisis in our country, and SCP fans are immune to it because we're in a reading fandom. Yeah, it's fan fiction. Yeah, it's not hot literature. But I'll be damned, we are doing some pretty good reading in our little community here. At least most of us. And I think more people out there would be interested in, hell, there's a lot of stories and lore and interesting stuff in this fandom. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say. Today's stream is brought to you by the Sherm Needs a Fucking Vacation Fund. Well, that's a completely different situation, because if I go to this convention, which we are probably going to do it, I am definitely going to not be vacationing at the YouTube convention. I will be on shift on your behalf. I will be working for you guys. I will be the SCP Foundation's representative at that convention. And so, utmost professionalism. This will not be a pleasure trip. I will be I will be networking, I will be organizing. You believe me on that front. Skywarp, thank you for donating again for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some chickadee china at the Chinese chicken on your way past the commissary. Again, Dr. Sherman, not an intern. Second time you made that mistake, prepare for budget cuts. Oh, shit. Did I do that again? Damn it. I apologize. It's because when you send gifts on my end, it doesn't show your membership. And so I just see a gray name. And because I'm riffing, sometimes my brain or my mouth bypasses my brain and I say the first thing I see. I apologize, Overseer Skywarp, for that impertinence. And yes, please don't cut our budget, especially while we're trying to make a very important field trip happen for SCP film community stuff. I need to go talk to Corridor Crew and talk them into using SCP stuff in their content. That would be very cool. Furthermore, Skywarp, thank you for sending 24 glitter bombs to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Have fun cleaning up that, staff. What would the SCP Foundation think of Miss Frizzle? Much like the Doctor, needs to be contained. Crazy anomaly, endangering children, breaching the veil of normalcy. Clearly needs to be contained. Also, I hear Magic School Bus is getting a live-action film as well, with Elizabeth Banks to star as Miss Frizzle. Interesting stuff. Still not an SCP movie, damn it! I had a dream about the convention you've been talking about. You were having a speech and I got kicked. Sillycore, what did you do to get kicked from the YouTuber convention? During my speech. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say. Also brought to you by the letter J. All 720... Oh. Shit. Oh. Wow. For once, a creative application of that abomination in a message. Oh. Fuck you, but also bravo. Intern Deadshot, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Miss Frizzle got me interested in art, so now I draw almost every day. I have very strong hands. Congratulations! I'm glad to hear you are making art in the world. That's excellent news. Why is all the other forgotten movies are getting made bad, not an SCP movie? Why? Well, Intern Lael, I'm glad lots of movies are getting made. I do like movies and film and series and stuff like that. But I would, in fact, also like SCP to be on that roster. Not to take away from them, but put us in, coach. We're ready. Dr. Sherman, what kind of water do you got today? Researcher Froy. This is not sponsored, but I'm drinking this brand of water. It's apparently alkaline, which is good for you in some way. It has electrolytes, which is what plants crave, I hear. How the heck does the Magic School Bus get a live-action version, but SCP can? Well, Zinksy, the Magic School Bus is a very large and very popular fandom and media property. SCP is still, as big as it has gotten, fairly niche. It is very rare that I run into someone in the general public who knows what SCP is. If people ask what my YouTube channel is about, I usually have to give them a little paragraph of explanation until they get the point. So we're not quite Magic School Bus famous yet, to be fair. But Siren Head in the back rooms, that hurts a little more. Again, not to take away from them, just the fact that they are younger than us, they've been around the block a lot less, and yet... Skywarp, thank you for sending 60 sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Chat, that is 60 glitter bombs that have just landed at your desks that you have to clean up. Good work. Good luck. Intern Catfruit. The SCP Foundation is an LGBTQIA friendly space. Now, I am asexual on that spectrum, the A of the LGBTQIA, which means I'm not interested in you hitting on me, unfortunately. I'm not interested. I don't know you. You also seem kind of weird. So, unfortunately, you're just going to have to buzz off. You're barking up the wrong tree. The Creative Commons license probably scares producers. Oh, it definitely does. But part and parcel of my goal here is to convince them that no, it doesn't have to scare you. You can still win with merchandising rights. You can still win with the film theatrical experience. And so you can still make your bag if you make an SCP movie. You just got to play your cards the right way, just like the Backrooms movie did, just like Obsession did. And so we need to teach the producers that the Creative Commons isn't scary. That's part of why I am going to this YouTuber convention with you guys' help. Thank you, and please keep donating to help mitigate the costs of such an expensive endeavor. But if I can get this mug in front of some people with some real money and interest, then I can convince them this is not a terrible idea. With all the people I've gotten into the SCP fandom, I'm sure I can wrangle a couple YouTubers to the cause. Intern RTT. I always say my favorite SCPs at the end of stream. It's a tradition around these parts. So if you want to wait the 45 minutes to an hour 45 before the stream ends, then you'll know at the end of stream. Or you can donate and simply ask, and I'll return that generosity by answering immediately. Or you can cheat and go to the end of stream of a previous stream and see it. You have your options. I am in the SCP Foundation. Can you tell me how to get out of here, Dr. Sherman? Intern girl. No. If you are contained, it's for a good reason. Enjoy your stay. Your permanent stay. Skywarp, thank you for donating again to say, this is for desk. A small bonus for them. Here's a little walking around money. Keep your chin up, kid. You're looking good. Is there actually a Siren Head movie coming out? Intern Big Dub, yes. The Siren Head movie rights were just sold to Warner Brothers in a mega studio bidding war that ended with just the rights to make the movie costing multi-million dollars. And so, the rights have been sold. The script is currently being written. Does the guy still own the character of Siren Head? Yes, Alien Mint. Trevor Henderson, creator of Siren Head, owns the copyright, but sold the rights to make the movie. Now that means that Trevor still retains the rights to make merch, the rights to make X, Y, and Z other projects with Siren Head. But the movie rights have been sold to Warner Brothers. Intern Rosemary, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a chocolate bar on your way past the commissary. And no, I wasn't ignoring your stars. I did not realize you sent stars. I missed them. My apologies. You have made the chat a 2-star team with the single star that you sent. And so now the chat is a 2-star team. Let's get this back up because it keeps falling. Arc it back. Aim it. And frame. Intern Pookie, you're sending stars. I will call you out when I see how many you send. Intern Silly Rilly and Nesset. The SCP Foundation is an LGBTQIA inclusive place. Now, I am asexual. I am the A in that. But we are celebrating one more day of Pride Month to let the LGBTQIA community know that the SCP Foundation does not forget them just because Pride Month is over. We appreciate both LGBTQIA rights and LGBTQIA wrongs. Intern Ellis, this is your shout out. Thank you for appreciating our content. We're doing our best to make good SCP content and enjoy and engender the creation of bigger and better SCP projects out there. SCP movies, one day. Since when were SIREN and SCP? Intern Insurgency. They aren't. Siren Head is not an SCP, but as a member of the online horror community, it is up to us to keep an eye on the different online horror things that are being made so we can see how those projects are going and maybe follow in the trail they blaze to make our own. So whether it's Markiplier with Iron Lung making the YouTube to movie hop, or maybe it's the Backrooms making it from YouTube to movies, or now Siren Head making it from Trevor Henderson, not even YouTube, to movies. We make our way the best we can, and we follow in the footsteps of those who have succeeded. That's just good strategy. Mm-hmm. 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 What about SCP the Butt Ghost? Intern Cappy, what about the Butt Ghost? It's currently contained properly. Intern Bubble Boy, I have no control over whether Cartoon Cat gets a movie. Remember, Cartoon Cat is not an SCP either. I have no say in the matter. It is up to the producers in Hollywood who are talking to Trevor Henderson. Ace of Luck, thank you for sending 9 doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend them wisely. Would Keter Labs be the director of the SCP movie? If is, would the script be similar to the short movie he made? Intern LL. So Keter Labs, after not successfully kickstarting their film, is currently debriefing on the failure and seeing what they can do to clean things up so that they can succeed the next time. Now, any other filmmaker can pitch an SCP project, and I will support them as long as it's a good concept, that they have a good plan I believe in. Such as those things. And so I will be on the lookout for the next SCP film projects to inform you guys. But if someone else makes a project, that's up to them. It has nothing to do with Keter Labs at that point. Ace of Luck, thank you for sending 51 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Besides the 10 prestige ranks, you have also made them a 3-star team. Congratulations, chat. Furthermore, Intern Pookie, you sent 498 stars, so almost 100 prestige ranks, everyone. And with 3 more stars, you are back to a 1-star team. That's just the way the rollover count works. No, wait a minute. Before Pookie sent those stars, there was a couple stray stars. I think it was 2 stray stars, and since you sent so many, I can't scroll back up to the earlier donos because the refresh rate is gone. I'm just going to say you guys are a 3-star team again. 3 out of 5. Very nice. And then Melissa sent 2 more stars. You guys are a 5-star team. Congratulations, chat. I hate your jacket and I hate your haircut. Well, intern Jeremiah, you are allowed to hate those things, but I like them. I think they look pretty cool, and so do a lot of people. Intern Melissa, thank you for sending 3 more stars. And then for Ace of Luck to send a star, and then Melissa for sending 2 more stars. So that's 3 plus 1 plus 2 is 6. So you guys gained 2 prestige ranks, and you're also a 1-star team again. Sorry, a 2-star team. Melissa sent you 1 more star, so you're currently a 2-star team. I hate the idea of myself wearing your jacket because I don't think I could pull it off like you could. Astro Problem. To be the one with that shit on, it is not just having an outfit that you can put on, but it's about having the attitude and the confidence to wear it. And so trust me, if I were a more nervous person, could wear this and it would be, no, the outfit is wearing me. But because I have the swag to pull it off, I am wearing that shit. That shit is not wearing me. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I have a question. Did your movie get canceled, and why the fuck was it, though? Can you clarify why real quick? Intern Drilly. SCP Containment Breach the Movie by Keter Labs, which I was on slate to help with consulting producer work as well as be on camera, did not successfully reach its funding goals on Kickstarter. And so that has put a large damper on the project, because without money, you can't make a movie. Now, they are currently looking at other sources of funding that they might be able to pull together to try and get this made. Once I hear from them, I'll be able to give you more intel. But for the time being, the problem is money. Trash ad, there ain't no movie, bitch. Well, intern Ghoul, I don't know why you're yelling that. Obviously, there is no SCP movie in the production right now because the Kickstarter for the one failed. So obviously, an SCP movie is not happening. I don't know why you're so angry. Can you elaborate? Maybe calm down? Drink some water? What's your issue here? Did the SCPs cancel their show? Did it stall due to external issues? Intern Triple J. The SC Peeps ended up in a scenario where, quote, life got in the way for the staff of the production. Very unfortunate, but especially on smaller projects, that comes together. Are you part of the LGBTQ community? Intern Inverted. I am the A on the asexual spectrum of the LGBTQIA. Now, the SCP Foundation as a whole is supportive of the SCP of the LGBTQIA plus community. Now, a reminder: I, Dr. Sherman, am asexual. My author on the higher pataphysical narrative level above us is cishet, but an ally. Is SCP Gallionic still happening, or did that get canceled as well? Intern Tambari. Gallionic is in production. They reached their goal. They are currently working on the film. In fact, I just saw a social media push of hiring freelancers to come on and animate. So they are in production. Gallionic is getting made. All right, let me catch up with these gifts real quick. Rosemary, thank you for sending 2 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now a 4-star team because of you. Melissa, thank you for sending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, making them gain 2 prestige ranks, but staying a 4-star team. Then, Melissa, thank you for sending 5 doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will spend them wisely. Thank you for sending 2 more stars and 2 more doubloons. That makes them a 1-star ranked team with another prestige rank, and 2 more doubloons for spending. Thank you to Melissa for your generosity. Amber, thank you for sending a floating heart. I'm sure the Containment Hazard Assessment team feels the love. What happened to the SCP Foundation? Intern Skulls, not much. There's still more and more authors joining, more and more stories being written day by day. In fact, we've gotten so popular on the writing side that people have actually tried to slow down how many articles are being written. They are closing the main list so that the 20-year anniversary of SCP next year, because yeah, SCP is turning 20 next year. At that point, they want to do the SCP 10,000 contest, and to make that happen, they actually had to close posting in a certain way. They're still working out the details on that. Intern Melissa, thank you for sending 3 doubloons, 4 doubloons, and 3 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they'll spend the doubloons wisely and be happy to be a 4-star team yet again. On your way to 5-star, everyone. Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say. Dr. Sherman, could we use SCP-197, the greenhouse, to end world hunger? Well, let me look into 197. I don't think I've actually read that entity. Or anomaly. Plant nursery and greenhouse. Plants grown within take on additional characteristics including self-awareness, sensory awareness, sapience, and capacity for language and mobility, despite the lack of a nervous... You want to make the plants sentient and then eat them? Kinda fucked up. What? That's your plan? No. No, we can't. I like what Marker Muncher says. Yes, evil vegan. Vegan, but make it villainous. Hashtag villainous vegan. Intern Melissa, thank you for sending a star and a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now a 5-star team with another doubloon to spend. Very nice. Transmographus, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a blueberry muffin on your way past the commissary. Wait a moment, Dr. Sherman. We use Gallionic as a springboard for future SCP films. By capitalizing and utilizing decent writing and story work, we can convince peeps that an SCP movie is worth it. Oh, trust me. The success of Gallionic is on the table for A, proving that SCP can go farther when it comes to investors, because SCP Gallionic's Kickstarter went crazy. And that definitely helps our clout as a community. But on top of which, once it actually releases, which is going to be a couple of years, remember, it's going to take a while for that to get made. But once it is, we are going to see a boom of interest in SCP that we will need to capitalize on to the best of our ability. Both to help out the SCP Gallionic team, SOM Studios, to make more things. And on top of which, of course, to springboard other people to make SCP creations. Bring more filmmakers into the community. Intern Torres, thank you for donating again to say. Could we have 049 transferred to Site 11? There are some tests we want to do. We definitely aren't going to take them out of containment. The way you phrase that missive, I do believe that you are saying you are going to take them out of containment. So, no. Intern Bifty, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They're now a 1-star team again with an extra prestige rank. Keep working your way up to 5 stars, chat. Melissa, thank you for sending 2 doubloons and a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend that doubloon wisely and be happy to be halfway back to that 5-star team status. Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say, but Dr. Sherman, the greenhouse would just be like harvesting animals, but just being plants. Yes, but it's not like it harvests plants expediently faster in a way that, okay, well, it makes so many plants that we could get over the trauma of eating living, thinking beings like that for it. The result of the growth does not outpace the trauma it would put on the harvesters. Melissa, thank you for sending 2 more stars and 2 more doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have made them a 5-star team. Congratulations again, chat. Now spend those doubloons wisely. Intern Riku. Question, Dr. Sherman, I haven't been active around SCP for a while. Any underrated SCPs you recommend to read about? Underrated. I want you to read SCP 3043, followed by SCP 3143. But specifically, don't just read them. I have audio readings of them on this channel. 3043, 3143. You can't get enough love for those guys. Go listen to them. They're really good. The voice acting really makes it. Trust me on this. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say, offer. I receive all your stars and prestige, and you receive a picture of SCP-096. I don't think chat will be taking you up on that, Ace of Luck. Intern Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say, so you're saying talk to the ethics committee first. I mean, it can't hurt to pitch it. Melissa, thank you for sending another gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are loving the daily doubloons. Evil Dr. Sherman, daily reminder to humanize anomalies. You stop that. We do not humanize the anomalies. Do not listen to evil Dr. Sherman. That guy is a big dummy face with wrong opinions on how to handle the SCP Foundation's contained anomalies. Intern DJ, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Intern DJ. Happy birthday to you. Melissa, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have gained them another prestige rank and knocked them back down to a 1-star team. Good luck getting your 5-star status back, chat. I got a question. Will you have a stream on the 19th of July? Intern Pookie, I have been streaming every day for the last year and 2.5 months, so probably. Dr. Sherm, how long is Street tonight? Well, Intern Silly Core, the main street of Site 42 has been shortened slightly due to construction. Another Dr. Gerald pile-up. You know how it is whenever Dr. Gerald visits. Bastard. So yes, until that's cleaned up, the streets are shortened for the evening. OMG, I missed you. Well, Desert Paranormal, make sure you hit the subscription bell here on YouTube. That way you get at least somewhat alerted by our streams and videos. Because, and even better, if you are of age to join the Site42 Discord server, then we do have a YouTube live alert roll that I ping at the start of every stream. It's more reliable than YouTube's bell. So if you want to do that, you can find the Site42 Discord server. The hints come to where it is in secret at the end of stream. Okay, intern Melissa, thank you for sending a gold coin. 2 gold coins. Along with 2 stars. Another gold coin. And 2 stars. So 4 stars, you made them a 5-star team again. Plus, you gave them some spending doubloons. So chat is very appreciative. Furthermore, Rosemary, thank you for sending 7, 8, 9 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, bringing them to a 4-star status with another prestige rank. Almost 5 stars again already. So far, so good, chat. Furthermore, intern Falcon, thank you for sending 3 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Another prestige rank, and now they are a 2-star team. Melissa, thank you for sending a doubloon and a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now a 3-star team again. Almost 5 stars. I meant to ask how long stream was, not street. I hate autocorrect. Oopsie doopsie, silly core. Well, stream is currently in the 20 minutes to an hour and 20-minute range. We will see how the stream energy holds up. Please, reminder that we are sponsored by the Send Dr. Sherman to the Big YouTuber Convention Fund, which is from your generous donations here in YouTube Super Chats or Ko-Fis. We are raising money for the very expensive tickets to make sure that I can go hobnob and elbow rub with some big name SCP big name YouTubers and try to convert them into SCP fans with my charming visage and yap ability. So if you have the extra funds to donate to Site42 to help me make this happen, I appreciate your generosity. Melissa, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They'll enjoy the doubloon to spend. And a 5-star team created by Falcon for sending 2 more stars. You're now a 5-star team again. Would you be live streaming when you go to the convention? Intern Alal, I will try to live stream from the convention. The problem is that I know the fairgrounds because I live near them. And so I don't know how the reception is. That would be the one question, is how would the reception be to stream in the field? If it's possible, I will. Otherwise, I'll have to stream from home before or after the stream day, or the convention day. Overseer Skywarp, thank you for sending 15 sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure another 15 glitter bombs won't be too much for the chat to clean up. Right, chat? Interns Chris and Paranormal, welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. DJ, I do see that you have multiple SCPs that have gone on a, quote, field trip, which I don't remember approving, but it seems to be that you're talking about Site-169, which wouldn't be my problem, except they were, here in the first place. So, who approved this field trip that you're speaking of? That's my question. Melissa, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. That's another prestige rank, and they are a 1-star chat again. Absolute fire suit, Dr. Sherman. You are correct, intern mutants. I am wearing that swag. Yeah, you do not want to see evil Dr. Sherman's drip. That loser does not have that shit on. Intern Zachary, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a funnel cake on your way past the commissary. Send a flamethrower now. Steve put SCP-729. SJ. Oh, no. Oh. Pardon. Oh. God, that thing. On my desk, Office Complex 2 Supervisor Zachary. Intern Zachary, you're requisitioning the wrong weapon. We've already proven in testing that flamethrowers have no effect on that abomination. Read the documentation before you requisition weapons that are ineffective. How would you describe your Site-42 canon? What's the site like, types of anomalies, attitude of staff, etc.? Intern Ratty Woman. The Site-42 canon is difficult to explain because, depending on what facet of Site-42 you are watching, you are subject to multiple different instances of the SCP Foundation's there is no canon rule. There is one iteration of Site-42 that's completely not mine to play with, because it's run by Site Director Desai and is stationed in North Carolina, completely absent of my work. Now, the Site-42 that is located in the San Francisco Bay Area, that is the Site-42 that I am either an archivist or a researcher or a site director, depending on the timeline and the universe you are within. Furthermore, there are certain universes where every person who walks into Site-42's campus gets forcibly transformed through an unknown anomaly into an iteration of Dr. Sherman, meaning the entire site is run by hundreds of Dr. Sherman clones. That's why you'll see videos of a D-class Dr. Sherman interacting with a researcher Dr. Sherman, interacting with an overseer Dr. Sherman, etc. So in those universes, it gets a little confusing. But in most universes, Site-42 is a anomaly transfer site because it is built upon a capital W way that allows easy transport to different SCP sites. That's how Site-42 has so many different anomalies in any given video. Intern Frinkle thank you for donating again to say, how would the Foundation deal with Dr. Beanies? I don't know what a Dr. Beanies is. I've never heard of this. What is it you are talking about? Dr. Beanies, the Mugenics Wiki, okay. From the creator of Binding of Isaac, interesting. Dr. Beanies is a non-playable character, first character the player character interacts with, responsible for bringing them back to life, provides the player with side quest items that change the rules of adventures, and provide rewards upon bringing the item all the way to a specific chapter, blah, 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 blah. Human, doctor guy. That's just a human scientist. Now, their tech might be anomalous, which means that I would, in fact, require them to either work for the Foundation or be contained if I had my way. But they are just a human. He's evil, though. Is he evil? Are you sure of that? I mean, doing science and experiments that can be a little beyond the pale, so to speak, is well within the Foundation's wheelhouse, and we are not evil, so to speak. Trust me on that. Intern Site_42 has subscribed to Site42. Interesting. We're getting more and more LARPers in the chat. This is starting to get confusing. Intern Zachary, thank you for donating again to say, send Steve down here to get that thing then. I mean, obviously, yes. None of the staff even want to go near their computers. I'm sending this from an emergency terminal. This is the second time. Instead of medical, Johnson had a mental breakdown. Oh, yeah, well, Johnson's always been a bit of a wimp in the first place. Let's be real here. I mean, yes, I almost projectile vomit every time I hear about that abomination, but then I recover because I'm the boss here. Johnson really needs to get it together if they want to have a future here at the Foundation. Yeah, Steve, go get that abomination. Stop pranking Office Complex 2. Why did they change the meaning of LARPing? Now it's about being fake or whatever. I just knew it was live action role playing game. So, Intern Lopez. That also annoys me that the colloquial sense of LARPing has become being a fake fan or a fandom tourist or something, as opposed to the actual meaning, which is pretending role-playing as someone in a live-action setting. In fact, one could say that I'm not even LARPing when I play Dr. Sherman on screen because I'm not live-action role-playing. I am acting on a screen here. I'm not with you like at a Ren Fair, which is definitely LARPing. Why is Steve in your office? Because Steve's my assistant. I mean, Steve had to take a long break after the incident last year, but now Steve is back and working fine. That would be awesome, though. Intern Lopez, what would be awesome, though? Intern Aaron, if I'm one of your favorite YouTubers, well, I'm proud of that. I hope you're doing well, taking care of those around you, making art, and being good. Do you have thoughts about the wiki hitting 10,000 skips in the next year or so? Intern Gimmick, the more the better. More art in the world makes a better world. More people practicing their art makes for better artists. It is the problem of idiots to be trying to make AI to replace art instead of letting people grow and make new things themselves. Joey Smith, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they'll spend it wisely. Thoughts on World War III? Well, it would make it a lot harder to contain anomalies, so I'm against it. Brave stance. I'm against World War III. Intern SCP Foundation X3I. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a toast and some jam on your way past the commissary. Despite SCP-2000 being a temporary backup system, but couldn't you use SCP-579 and SCP-055 for XK class scenarios with no hope, such as SCP-2317? Well, that depends on the scenario. You have to be able to get them together, like in the SCP-5000 documentation. If the world ends in a snap, you won't have time to put the two together. So that's not a always easy thing. I got confirmation today I'm going to be going to Open Source as an exhibitioner. Well, Chesta Factory, I look forward to seeing you there then. Because I will be, thanks to the generosity of chat, one way or another, making my way there. Please remember, chat, part of what we're doing for the next couple of weeks is we're trying to raise additional funds so I can spend as much time at this open source convention with a bunch of highfalutin tech YouTubers, especially the ones who are in cosplay or film, to convince them that getting involved in the SCP community is a really cool idea. So if you want to help me network with some bigwig YouTubers, I would appreciate your generosity in donating to the cause. The tickets are very expensive. And I am not getting a paid ride or anything there. I'm going on my own. I'm out of the cage. Intern Califragilistic, are you doing just fine? Have you gotta be down? Because you want it all. Intern Wyatt, you said is Jesus an SCP? Well, Intern Wyatt, we currently have 6 iterations of Jesus Christ live and in containment. SCP-029-J, codename Uber Driver Jesus. SCP-3305, Bread Jesus. SCP-4477, Cockblock Jesus. SCP-5991, Vor Jesus. SCP-6542, Milk Jesus, aka Jesus. And SCP-7966, codename Jim Davis, creator of Garfield, who is also Jesus. That is not even to count the tumor Jesus, which is just a tumor in the shape of Jesus, the 50 rubber Jesus toys that are alive and talk and all think they are the real Jesus, the dead, buried skeletons of Jesus that have bird bones for some reason. There's like 31 of those. Or our researcher, Dr. Sophia Light, who is also Jesus, but isn't in containment, so she doesn't count as a contained Jesus. Yeah, we got a whole lot of Jesus around here. It's a little crazy. Intern Zachary, thank you for donating again to say, Site Director Sherman, I'm sending something to your terminal regarding SCP-3086. Schmidt found something concerning. Seems the audio logs were not properly erased. Johnson has also been taken by medical. Do not let Johnson out of medical. Get everyone else out of there. Do not let them hear Johnson talk, because if they talk about what Johnson talks about, this could get really messy. I need security to put down Johnson immediately. Johnson is gone. I was talking about the actual Jesus Christ. Well, intern Wyatt, as I said, we have 6 different ones. Which one is the actual one? Because we have 6 different Jesus. Is bread Jesus the one true Christ? Sorry, the one true crust? Is milk Jesus the one true Jesus? You gotta take your pick. Goose Goose, thank you for your 8 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Love the jacket. Gonna keep it past today. I appreciate your love for my sweet, sweet fit. Now, I did keep the Pride-related jacket for one more day to remind the LGBTQIA staff that the SCP Foundation support for the LGBTQIA plus community does not stop at Pride Month, but I will return to my more professional coats in the coming days, if not because contrasting the colorful shirt with the more plain jacket is more of a contrast in fashion fit. What class would you put the Omnitrix in? Intern Omega, I do believe the Omnitrix, if off of a person, just sits in a box. It doesn't get up and move to find somebody. So in that case, it would be a safe class anomaly. It just stays in the box. Intern Wyatt, please do not try to, quote, spread the gospel in our chat. This is not the appropriate venue. We are talking about the SCP Foundation. Being off subject is a form of spam that will get you banned. I answered your question. Now please stay on topic. Intern Rebestar, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a hot pickle on your way past the commissary. Greetings from Australia, otherwise known as Satan's Petting Zoo. Well, good day to you too. Hope you're doing well over there. Stay safe. Intern Eckerns, you cannot adopt any SCP. They are in containment. They are staying there. Stop asking. Did you watch the Scarlet King versus Superman fan animation? Intern Power Scaler, how appropriate would it be that you brought that to my attention? But no, I have not heard of or seen that. I'll have to look into that. Intern Carr, thank you for sending a flow state to Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure they will truly lock in due to your urging. Does the SCP Foundation know or have anything to do with the back rooms? Intern Burgesson, while the SCP Foundation is quite familiar with the back rooms as a parallel online internet horror community, The SCP Foundation is not involved in the Backrooms investigation. In the higher pataphysical narrative level above us, where the authors live, because they are separate intellectual properties. They are not the same thing. On our pataphysical narrative level, it's because those async bastards keep bogarting the ability to check it out. Now, also, I just want it known. I might do this tomorrow for the hell of it. I actually haven't decided. This is a very spur of the moment idea. But I was looking up the spelling of Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire so I could make a tweet about it the other day. And I discovered something interesting. when Googling that, which is, why is Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire on Google Maps? And why is it located in the city of San Jose, California? I know that's where the movie took place, but why is Captain Clark's actually here? What do you mean it opens at 10 a.m. Thursday? Open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Do I have to go investigate Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire? Do you think Async will tackle me? No, whoever said it, Gay Avenue is 2 streets over from Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire. But it was close. It was almost located on Gay Avenue. But no, it's 2 streets over. Do I risk getting tackled by Async and go check out Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire? 'Cause what do you mean? It's right there. I mean, tomorrow, all I have in the morning is leg day at the gym for the Foundation Fitness Initiative to continue my rehab. And then the daily stream. Dr. Sherman, I live in California. What do you mean? So you're also a California native, or at least a local. Now, I am not from here. I was born and raised in Florida, but I came here to California. Suffice it to say, I could drive over to there really easy and see what's going on. Huh. Maybe we stream from Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire tomorrow. I'll at the very least go over there and see what I can discover. Because I can't... What does that mean? There's a lot of reviews talking about it being like in the movie. I, for the life of me, gotta imagine this is just made up. That there's nothing actually there. Because the photos of the setting show just pictures from the movie. There's a Marshall's there. There's a lot of Google Photos trolls being sent there, so I really don't think anything is present at that location. But, you don't find out if you don't check it. No risk, no reward. I mean, that's what we're talking about to go to the YouTuber convention. So no risk, no reward. Going to go check out the Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire as well, right? Intern Devi, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Hot Pocket on your way past the commissary. And you didn't send a message with your donation, so simply thank you for your generosity. Wacky Clown. We're still on the... So, what's going on today? Welcome to stream. Good to see you. The 3 things that are going on today is, number 1, we are still raising funds for me to go to that YouTuber convention. So if you guys have extra funds you are able to donate without harming yourself, I would greatly appreciate you helping me to be our representative of the SCP community at this YouTuber convention. I will go up and network and do my best to educate them on the SCP community and get them involved. I am supposed to fist bump Aaron from Game Grumps on Sheenie's behalf. What's risky about the convention? Nolono. It's just a standard gambler's fallacy style risk, where it is a very large sum of money. The tickets that we need to guarantee seeing some of the bigger YouTubers when I go there are between $850 and $1,550. So the higher price the ticket, the more likelihood of success. But then in this case, success is networking, FaceTime, saying hello, introducing myself, saying, hey, have you heard of SCP? Check out my YouTuber. I've got so many subscribers. Do you want to hang out and in the SCP community make some art with us? And so the likelihood of anything coming from it immediately is low. But the more FaceTime you get with people, the more interaction you have, the more likely they like you and want to hang out with you. This is something people get wrong about asking people on dates and making friends, is they just kind of awkwardly go up the first time they exist, and now you're an unknown quotient. Nobody knows you. And so if you're in a new group, it's better to go regularly to a place, a club, a hobby, and make it a place you go regularly, mind your business, do what you're going to do, and then eventually people recognize you, they give you the little, hey, good to see you again, and then you can start talking shop. And so the more I can get FaceTime with these big famous YouTubers and say, hi, I'm Dr. Sherman, but you can call me Sherm. I do work for the SCP Foundation. Have you ever heard of that? Yeah, we're pretty cool. We do science fiction, horror, comedy, drama, everything. And it's Creative Commons, so you can use the stuff too. The more we interact with people, the more likely they'll be like, oh, I recognize that, and it doesn't give me a bad vibe, and I want to participate. And so the risk is that, maybe nothing comes of it the first time, but we got to keep hitting our heads against the wall. For rich people, they can afford to spend this kind of money willy-nilly several times to get that FaceTime, to get that introduction, to do the job. Tell that to Rambu. Opal, if I get the opportunity to see Rambu, then I will. I will spread the word. Hell, Rambu has been on Dropout, and that'll give me another route to get myself to the Dropout team, to tell them about SCP. We will spread the word the best of our ability. So that's one of the things that's happening, Wacky Clown, is we're still raising funds to assist me in skipping work that weekend and going to that convention instead. Secondarily, we have the fact that we just discovered that Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire is on Google Maps about a 30-minute drive from me. So, do I need to go to check out Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire? And third, there's an SCP movie, not an SCP movie, there's a Siren Head movie that was just sold the rights to Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers is in production of a Siren Head movie, which is not an SCP movie, damn it. But if I can go to the convention, maybe I can talk someone there into helping us out. We need investors, we need creatives interested. And so the more FaceTime we get with these creatives, the better chance we have. I see if I wasn't broke, I'd help out, but I'll just stand over here, I guess. Wacky Clown, you're chatting. That helps the stream engagement. You're liking the stream. That helps the stream engagement. You are sharing the SCP Foundation through Site-42, which spreads our word through engagement. If you can't donate money, time and effort is acceptable. That's what Mobile Task Force Site-42 is all about. Trust me, we understand starving artists. We're an arts community. It's kind of a thing. But if we can channel our energy like a spirit bomb, perhaps we can pull off something pretty awesome. Dr. Sherman, I'm asked, do you need more messengers for SCP promotion on Reddit? Intern Drilly, as a member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42 Codename Signal Boosters, share it everywhere. Share the SCP projects we support. Spread the word. Be careful to speak in a measured and authentic manner, and do so in a limited manner that you do not come across as spamming and get deleted. We got to be careful of that. If we come across as spammy, it will annoy people and they won't listen to us. So we must be measured and authentic and amiable. I've already forgotten. Intern Top Hat, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. We are a 2-star chat, thanks to your contribution. Dr. Sherman, would the SCP Foundation label Async the company as a group of interest? Yes, if the Async Corporation existed in the SCP universe, it would definitely be a group of interest. Apathy, thank you for sending a trophy cake to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they found it a delicious victory. Intern Dragons and Tornado Guys, welcome to Site-42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Hope Siren Head isn't butchered. Wacky Clown. Siren Head, the film, is being produced and written in part by Zach Kreger, the creator of Barbarian and Weapons. So it's in good hands. So that's good news for the Siren Head movie. Hey, Dr. Sherman, not sure on the logistics around this, but do you think going on Tommy Innett's 100 Question show might be beneficial to anything? Well, I do believe the creator known as Tommy Innett has a rather large media footprint, which gives the exposure situation usefulness. Furthermore, as long as they are not, I'm not familiar with Tommy Innett, but if they are a fair interviewer and we have an interesting and engaging conversation, perhaps it could be useful. $1,000 donation to the Ko-Fi, and Dr. Sherman will wear an SCP-72. Oh no! What? What? What are you guaranteeing on my behalf? Disc. And Dr. Sherman will wear a 7-2 onesie for a week of stream? Where the hell did I even get that? I'm guaranteeing torture for content. I feel like there's some YouTuber rule that says I can't say no to that. But I swear, whoever were to do that, to make me do that, and to have that thing in my house, Intern Grapes, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend their doubloons wisely. Intern Deadshot, if you want to know what's wrong with that abomination, go read its documentation on the SCPnet database. Intern Gracona, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a papaya on your way past the commissary. Now, you didn't send a message with your donation, so simply thank you for your generosity. Do you guys know if there's a year plan for the Siren Head movie release? Intern Trox, no. The announcement that the rights were purchased just was announced by Hollywood Reporter. So they have not even started writing the script. The rights have just been negotiated. So now they start writing the script. Production of a film like this will take 2 to 3 years, maybe 4. Why does the commissary have such a variety in food? The one in Site 95 sucks. It's because I am a good and well-deserving of appreciation site director, Wacky Clown. I knew that morale for staff is important to good research, which is why we have the best stocked commissary and commissary workers in the Foundation to the top of the line, as well as a very fun and festive dress code. Where did you get that suit from? Intern Trooper. I got it as a gift from my mother. I assume she purchased it on Etsy. Search for rainbow or tie-dye lab coat. Hey, Dr. Sherman, have you heard about Group of Interest Con? No, I have not heard of Group of Interest Con. What are you talking about? Site 42 staff, as a time check, we are currently 2 hours and 20 minutes into stream. We have, I'll call it 20 to 40 minutes, depending on stream energy today. Till the end of stream. Interns Rosie and Derica, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Can we neutralize SCP-682 by sending it to the Kane Parsons back rooms? The licensing issues in regard to KB's version would just obliterate it in seconds. No, not even copyright issues can destroy SCP-682. Plus, it is basically immortal, which means it will eventually find an exit. It's a bad idea. Intern Rosemary, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they appreciate cleaning up yet another glitter bomb. Raven, thank you for sending 4 floating hearts to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they feel the love. Ace of Luck, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your newly minted membership and service. Intern Trooper, the daily stream is a different time every day. It depends on what kind of testing we're doing here at Site 42 that I have to monitor. But we have not missed a day in over a year and 2.5 months. Make sure you hit the subscription bell to get notified when we go live. And if you are 18 or older, you can go to the Site 42 Discord server and get a role for YouTube Live Alert. I ping the Discord live every so often so that it alerts people. It's more reliable than the YouTube. You pop up every so often, and I find your vids cool. Well, thank you, intern Sim. Glad to be putting out good SCP content that people enjoy. How would you contain a sentient block of uranium with legs that is 3 feet tall? Intern Stampers, you put it in a containment cell. It can walk, but it's still just a block of uranium. Put it in a containment cell, probably lead lined for radioactivity purposes, if it is in a refined or dangerous state. Intern Rebamba, I'd love a story. Well, you're in luck. The SCP Foundation community has over 10,000 SCP articles, as well as somewhere between 5 and 10,000 tales, which are more prose stories. So you can go to the SCP database, and there are plenty of stories for you to check out. I remember looking through the 682 kill log discussion page a while ago, 2008 earlier days. They're actually discussing permanently killing it. Can you imagine how different the wiki would be? Well, intern Ratty Woman, I don't think it would be terribly different because it's just one story out of several thousand. But, on the other hand, there are at least 2 occasions I can name, 3 occasions actually, where 682 was permanently killed. SCP-682 was killed by that cave that if you go through it and come back, it kills everything on your planet. That killed 682. The Hateful Star nuked 682 from orbit and destroyed it. And that abomination destroyed it so thoroughly that we expunged what happened because it was too terrible to take record of. Intern Bonnie, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a slice of pizza on your way past the commissary. Who is the only strongest SCP? That would be SCP-6101. If you read its description, it literally opens with the line, SCP-6101 is the most powerful SCP. Doesn't get clearer than that, does it? What do you think is the most accurate proposal of SCP-001? Intern Purple, you know I am not at liberty to discuss such things. That's classified. Intern Royal, thank you for sending a clutch to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure it will come in, well, you know. When will you and 049 have a rap battle? On one hand, 049 is kind of a fuddy-duddy. I'm not exactly scared of its ability to spit bars, but it is several hundred years old and has mastery of more than one language, so if it took the time, it could probably bust a sick rhyme. Huh. Dr. Sherman, why can't we just put all the SCPs in SCP-3008? Intern Puffin, we cannot put all the SCPs in SCP-3008 for a very simple reason. We wouldn't be able to get them back out or test them. We are not just throwing anomalies in the garbage, destroying them. Our job at the SCP Foundation is to contain them and research them. We can't do that if we lock them in a place where the door moves and you end up getting lost forever. So no, that's a terrible idea, especially because some of the more dangerous and immortal entities like 682 or 096 would be able to eventually find the door due to their long-livedness. The statistical chance that they would find the door means that they would get out. So we'd lose a bunch of staff, lose a bunch of useful anomalies, and the dangerous ones would just come back. Terrible idea. Let's get this back at proper height. Intern Royal Guard, thank you for sending 5 100s to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will keep it 5 times as 100 as they were previously at your urging. Furthermore, thank you for sending the chat a pretty flower. I'm sure they enjoyed the pretty flower. How long have you worked for Site 42? Well, Intern Scalum, the Site 42 YouTube channel just turned 11 years old. So I would imagine at least that long. Also, there are people living in SCP-3008. Well, yeah, but they're not going to breach secrecy. They're stuck in there. That's not my problem. Has the Foundation ever normalized an SCP? Like how in Men in Black, they periodically sell alien tech to raise money. Yes, Intern Smith, although not typically on purpose. For instance, SCP-8900 was a worldwide anomaly, or sorry, SCP-8900-EX was a worldwide anomaly we could not contain, so we amnesticized the entire planet into thinking that things were always that way. Go check out the SCP-8900-EX documentation for further intel. Interns Hunter, Mark, and Froy, you are correct. The likes are almost double the viewer count. Congratulations, Containment Hazard Assessment team. By continuing to like the stream and comment and chat, you are boosting us in the algorithm, bringing us more people who might not know of the SCP Foundation and now get to learn about it. Or might be interested in helping us make an SCP movie. In which case, right now, we are trying to fund my ticket to that crazy expensive YouTuber convention so that I can hobnob with the famous YouTubers and tell them, hey, did you know the SCP Foundation is pretty cool? You should make some stuff with us about it. And so we thank you for your generosity and donations, if you are helping with that. And we thank you for your generosity in working and engagement, if you're helping as a member of Mobile Task Force Site 42, codename Signal Boosters. Intern Lateralist, thank you for sending a 6-7 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure the chat will find Desk being annoyed very comical. Kind of messed up, you got to be rich to be able to go to a lot of these networking things, even with something like YouTube. Wacky Clown, that is unfortunately the way of the world. And so all we can do is we can pool our resources together. We can do our best to get our foot in the door, or my foot in the door, and then I can try and bring back what I can. Intern Rika, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Intern Scallum, if you're trying to write an SCP, I highly recommend you check out the SCP Foundation website's Guide for Beginners. Make sure you're following the rules of the site, make sure you're checking out the formatting, and make sure you greenlight your SCP Foundation project with the Greenlight team if it's your first SCP. The Greenlight process is meant for SCP Wiki critique staff to tell you your idea is worth writing and that you got the right idea on how to do it. If the Foundation put 682 to write 012, would he keep regenerate? First of all, 682 is not a he, it's an it. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. All anomalies are objects, not people. It's an it. Get it right. We've already tested SCP-682 and SCP-012. If I go to the SCP-682 termination log and I search 012, I will find the answer to your question quite quickly. 012. Proposal to no, that's not it. There we go. SCP-012 is lowered into 682's containment chamber. 682 achieves visual contact with the anomaly. 682 approaches 012, but this appears to have been made by 682's own free will and not due to 012's mind-affecting properties. Physical alterations begin to manifest and affect all ink written on any pieces of paper, which tests later identify as dried blood from SCP-682. This anomalous effect affects all ink in a 500-meter radius, possessing the same anomalous properties as 012. In this ensuing breach of security, 682 breaches containment, having never been observed to establish direct physical contact with 012. 682 turned all ink on all paper within 500 meters into iterations of 012, which killed all the staff. So, that was a terrible research plan. Firefly Lily, thank you for sending 6 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have brought them a prestige rank, and they are now a 3-star chat. You're on your way to 5 stars. You're almost there, chat. Intern Edward, yes, gay colors. I guess if you find colors to be gay. If that's how you feel about colors or something. What? What? Why is this falling so easily right now? Get back up there. Stay. Maybe like that. Better. Pumpkin Man, thank you for sending 5 stars to the Containment Hazards has been team. They've gained another prestige rank, but are still a 3-star team. Interns Sock Snatcher and Juniper Deer. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. But Pride Month over. That's okay, Intern Campbell. I chose to wear my tie-dye, aka rainbow, aka celebratory Pride Month coat for one more day to tell the LGBTQIA fans of the SCP Foundation that we do not forget you because Pride Month has ended. We still stand by the LGBTQIA community even after Pride Month. Intern Sigma Ohio, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some banana pancakes on your way past the commissary. Yikes, another mentally ill person. Yes, intern Marine. It seems you're talking about yourself in the third person. That is pretty mentally ill of you. Intern Anna, if you don't support the human rights of the LGBTQIA community, then we are not friends. Your hatred of these people is unnerving to me. I don't hate them. Intern Anna, unfortunately you do. If you don't support them living their lives the way they do, that is hate. It's a different kind of hate. It's not an overt hate. It's the kind of hate that survives in polite society. But it is still hatred. If you do not support their lifestyle of loving who they want to love and their basic human rights, that is hatred. You need to learn that now and change your ways. So if we don't agree with your lifestyle, that equals we hate you. Yes, intern Mark Aram, it does. Do better. Stop hating. You have the option. You have a choice in this. Intern Sigma Ohio, thank you for donating again to say, how dangerous would Flowers be talking about Roblox Flowers if he was a real entity? I don't know what a Roblox Flowers is. I'll look it up for a quick look. Intern Markham, I do have an answer for everything, yes. And it's not the other way it's not the other way around because we don't hate your way of life. You can live your life the way that you want, but you disagree and want to stop people from living their lives. You are the hater, not us. It doesn't work the other way around because we aren't hating on you, you're hating on them. Now, the tolerance paradox is that by tolerating intolerance, you allow intolerance to fester. So I'm not tolerating your intolerance, but it is intolerance and it is hatred. And you should cure yourself of that notion before you end up in a bad place in your life. Intern Zachariah, intern Scout, intern Slushy, intern 729-J. Thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. What is this Roblox Flowers thing that Sigma Ohio asked about? Roblox Flowers. Primarily refers to the terrifying viral anomaly and antagonist created by content creator Vibing Leaf, often associated with Creepy Whistle. Entity haunts specific games, glitches servers, and distorts the game environment. It seems like because it's glitching things in a game, we can contain it in a server in a Faraday cage so it can't escape to the greater internet. Done. Intern Mark Rum, I don't hate your way of life, but I disagree with it, but I don't hate it, but you're going to label it whatever you need to make your point. No, I'm going to label it what it is, which is hatred. You're denying that people should live their human rights. That is hatred. I'm not labeling it something, I'm telling you what it is. And anyways, it's not my way of life, by the way. My author avatar is cishet. So don't try to label me with anything as some sort of gotcha. I am supporting people besides myself because I'm a good person. I am not queer, but I do appreciate that they have human rights and I'm fine with their living their lives because it doesn't affect me. You are not fine with them living their lives even though it doesn't affect you. Your hatred is hatred. Learn that and change your ways. Intern Scout, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Get yourself a Kit Kat bar on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, do you have any info on SCP-4999? All I have is what's on the SCP database. We monitor the situation, we try... I mean, it's rather hard to contain such an entity. Intern, all right. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a brownie on your way past the commissary. Yo, has SCP-049 stole the gender switching thing again? The last time we talked about that, I believe yesterday, it got a hold of the gender switching stone again. Now, it's not stealing it. 049 has the right to use it in agreement with us, the Foundation. It helps out on the mobile task forces to contain anomalies, and we utilize its abilities thusly, and therefore, we allow it to use the gender switching stone from time to time. Sigma Ohio, thank you for donating again to say. I don't know why it doesn't say, but if you look into the screen for too long, then you will get brain damage or be sucked into the game if you look at it. Good. The D class will inform us of that in testing, and then we'll make sure we don't let any researchers look into it. Job done. Intern Lax Goalie, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, and also Mad Unlike the Floor, thank you for sending a doubloon. Chat, you have 2 more doubloons to spend. Treat them wisely. Stay. Maybe a little lower, just a hair. Intern Spoik, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure that they will spend it wisely. Scout, thank you for donating again to say, can you give me some info on SCP-4999? What do you want to know, Intern Scout? As I said, I cannot give you much more than is on the database, which you could go read yourself. But all we know is it's a humanoid entity. It usually looks like some person in dark formal wear, smoking a cigarette, and comforting people on their deathbeds. It manifests, hangs out, and then leaves. We have not been able to contain it in any manner. What more do you want to know? Intern Matt, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they'll spend it wisely. And a second doubloon, double the spending power. Intern Mazzarella, thank you for sending another gold coin to the chat. I'm sure they appreciate the spending trinket. 2 gold coins, I mean. In SCP-21, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a cake pop on your way past the commissary. And you didn't send a donation or a message with your donation, so simply thank you for your generosity. Intern Drawing. SCPs reproduce in as many ways as there are different SCPs. Many SCPs don't reproduce at all. And if this is some sort of oblique reference to fraternizing with SCPs, you will be demoted. Intern Mad, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend it wisely. Intern Sigma Ohio, thank you for donating again to say. To be honest, this next one I don't think you could handle. Basically, it's called Troll Ledge. It has multiple variants. Some are multiverse, some are city. What do you mean multiverse or city? Is this power scaling terminology? I don't pay a lot of attention to that. Despite the accusations of power scaling slop leveled at the SCP community by people who don't read the website, therefore they don't know what they're talking about. Troll Ledge. I can't find any information on what you are talking about, Sigma Ohio. Can you be more specific? I searched it and I couldn't find it. SCP Internal Security Division, of course, this is a limited briefing only for SCP Foundation staff. In universes where they allow anomalies to have cellular phones, they can watch there. And of course, the general public, but only in broken veil scenarios. While waiting for Sigma Ohio to clarify. Intern, all right, thank you for donating again to say. DJ's, B-Day, and mine, he wants to know about 684. What about 684? I don't remember 684 off the top of my head. What is 684? Code name The Caretaken. A massive object presumed to be a living creature found on the seafloor of the Indian Ocean. Irregular shape. Outward skin is dark brown with a rough grainy texture. Slight give when pressure is applied to the surface. Small sections will dimly glow faint blue, yellow, or pink. These lights tend to move the directions of center mass, or to 6 slowly pulsating sphincters that are believed to be mouth analogs. Ocean currents caused our research outpost to land on the entity, which then stayed put undamaged. So now that our research station is attached to the entity. And then it was destroyed by a localized undulation of mass, so that didn't last very long. But when we went to recover what we could, 24 hours later, the station was found intact, not destroyed. So a video showed it being destroyed, but then it was fine. The researchers inside said they didn't notice anything. There seems to be some sort of... it seems that the entity regrew copies of Station Alpha and the staff inside. Huh. That is some interesting stuff right there. Sigma, Ohio. You said, yeah, basically there's hundreds of variants, and well, let's just say some basically destroy the whole multiverse, but somewhere city level as it can destroy a city, but not much more than that. Yes, but Sigma, Ohio, can you tell me specifically what media property is this from? What am I searching for along with the words troll ledge so I actually find what you're talking about so I can look at a site? Meanwhile, wow. Intern All Right and DJ, that is a very interesting anomaly you turned me on to. Weird stuff. Weirdo, freak, body boy, homo, says Intern Spar. Well, D-class Spar now, because obviously a hater loser like that is going to be demoted to D-class instantly. But yes, the SCP Foundation does support the LGBTQIA community. I being asexual on that ranking, but my author being cishet, and you being a total loser freak who does not deserve to hang out with us. You don't even go here. All right, I am going to openly mock you. No, I'm not going to do that, even though you look like a Matt Walsh wannabe cosplayer. Gross. I'm going to be better than you and not share your photo on stream. It would be very funny, though, because you are a giant loser. Sigma, Ohio, thank you for donating again to say. Nature, corruption, and a lone world. That's what they're called, and one of them went out to space is what I mean. What? Nature, corruption, alone, and a lone world. That's what they're called, and one of them went out to space is what I mean. Nature, corruption, and a lone world? Corruption. Oh, well, if I put in nature, corruption, I get Trollgy. I think that might be what you're talking about here. So not Troll Ledge. That must have been a typo. You mean Trollgy. Nature's corruption is a Trollgy entity created by God Amogus, that was inspired by the water corruption incident created by Open Garden, and it is the protagonist of the Nature's Corruption series. He is shown as a villain in the story, killing everyone who opposes him, including the humanity. He ends up reaching the multiverse and killing the multiversal god, and eventually taking over the TIC. Don't know what that is. He is now ruler of the TIO. Don't know what that is. Is confirmed that he allied with Clockwork and the TTPA, as it is shown in Infinite Corruption Part 3. Yeah, I guess you're right. When it's a giant multiversal entity, the best we can hope for is they stay out of our universe, like the Scarlet King. As long as it doesn't show up to bother us, then that's that. If not, we better hope there's some sort of prophecy and things we could end it with. Mazzarella, thank you for sending 5 doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they will spend them wisely. Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie. Say hello to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. You showed up at the beginning of stream, and now you're here 5 minutes before the end of stream. Oh, what a big yawn. What a good baby. The sweetest pumpkin at Site 42 has arrived. Hello, chat, from the baby. Be free, little girl. Intern Kepner, thank you for sending a 6-7 to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure they will laugh with delight at Desk's annoyance. Intern Kepner, thank you for sending a second and third 6-7. Oh, you're continuing an onslaught of 6-7s, I see. That is a total of 4 6-7s that the desk has to deal with. Hey, shout out to you. You bring me much joy and peace. I appreciate you. Well, thank you, intern Mazzarella. Glad to hear. We're doing our best in these streets to provide entertainment in the SCP Foundation universe. Intern Doomer, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they'll spend it wisely. DJ, you are wanting me to read SCP-4244 for your birthday? Well, I guess we can ask, we ask. I think stream will have to go a little later for that to happen. Codename Nanomimes? Nanomimes. Like mimes that are nanomachines? Horrifying. Before I get into that, thank you for alerting me, desk, that there is a Ko-Fi that I missed. Amber, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which, as we know, only takes 3% of your donation as a service charge per donation. While YouTube Super Chats, YouTube gets 30% of your donation for their own coffers. And if you use an Apple device, the Apple Store gets 30% of your Super Chat. So most of your donation is skimmed away if you use Super Chats. We super appreciate it if you take the time and effort to use the Ko-Fi. Here it goes again by OK Go. If not, that's okay. Well, lol, I do know that song, and now you are the top donor for picking the credit song for today. A reminder, in the spirit of trying to raise funds to get me to go to this very freaking expensive YouTuber convention to meet a bunch of big schmancy tech YouTubers and try to network on behalf of the SCP Foundation, we are encouraging more donations in this time, and one of those donation tricks is giving you the ability to pick our credit song to the highest single donation, of which Amber is currently the highest at $25. So if you wish to donate more than $25, you can choose the credit song. And thanks to DJ, you have a couple of extra minutes to make that win because I have SCP to read now. But Amber, you are currently the top winner for your OK Go suggestion. We will see if that lasts. I will catch up on the donations that have come in, that are coming in after I get through this SCP reading real quick. Item number SCP-424, Object Class Safe, Special Containment Procedures. Samples of 424 have been relegated to the laboratory of Dr. Redacted. Why are we redacting the doctor's name? What use is that? Now I don't know who to email about this. Why? To be administered by researchers Dr. Tidbury and Dr. Herman. One letter off. The Central Contingent Mass is allowed free run of personnel levels 2, 3, and 4 of Sector 28, as it has demonstrated an acceptable level of personableness, as well as basic understanding of the concepts of privacy and personal space. Okay, so it's another site pet. There are, however, isolated incidents in which these courtesies have not been observed by 424, though not in such frequency as to merit additional containment procedures. Complaints are available to Level 3 Human Resource staff in Personal Archive C-424. Supplemental. Personnel are advised not to take violent action against 424 due to the nature of its behavior. If it becomes an annoyance, simply ask it to leave. If it refuses, file a complaint and report to one of my assistants. Thank you. Dr. Redacted. Description. 424 was discovered accidentally in early 2004 at a gas station in Campbell River, British Columbia. So a Canadian anomaly. Documentation of discovery and capture can be found in log 424B, files 424 blah blah blah. 44 at rest appears to be a smooth gelatinous mass with equal black and white coloration. No patterns are observed to form on its surface while in this resting position, though the shades constantly shift position. Very Rorschach of it. In actuality, 424 is a vast collection of microscopic organisms. Whether they function as a group or by a single or multiple consciousness is unknown, as samples taken display a behavior similar yet independent to that of the main mass. Origin of pigmentation is currently under investigation, but not prioritized under main research staff. The central mass has a variable volume and remains at a constant 34 degrees. This is very, very insistent upon its technical documentation. Ah, gotta love the early SCP document professionality. As far as can be determined, 424 lacks detectable sensory features, though is capable of observing its environment by tactile, oral, visual, and olfactory means by methods that are still being tested and studied. 424 has the ability to mold and harden its malleable composition to the shape of any object or organism it has previously seen, though it is not capable of reproducing the color or function other than movement of that form. It can also rearrange its pigmentation to suit the surface patterns of any new form taken, despite not being able to reproduce color. For test examples, those with level 2 security clearance, blah blah blah. Addendum. Escape sample of 424 has proven that the organism can survive digestion. Staff mugs are to be labeled and painted brightly to avoid future incidents. Don't drink from the anomaly. Addendum. Neither the central mass nor any samples taken require solid or liquid nourishment. Working theory is that they thrive through constant motion, hence the constant shift of surface patterning when at rest. Addendum. While 424 is more than willing to take suggestions for shapes to imitate, it should be noted that it is not human and is not likely to respond as such to physical gestures of intimacy. This is to be considered a general warning to resident staff to disregard of such as grounds for transfer to facility, insufficient clearance for immediate reassignment. Addendum. Should 424 become still or hidden enough to be unable to locate, it may be called by number or enticed into view by offering it something to mimic, more so if it is something that hasn't been mimicked yet. Other methods are not generally recommended. Addendum. Movies of the horror genre have been removed from recreational equipment storage cabinets. In regard to 424's reaction to the August 2005 screening of Aliens, all ductwork is to be examined for possible accidental fragments of 424's main mass, so it's been acting out the movie Alien. I bet it and SCP-2006 would be good friends, which would be bad for us. Capture report. Discovered accidentally in early 2004 at a gas station in Campbell River, British Columbia, where it had assumed the shape of an on-shift employee, donned a reflective vest, and had begun operating the gas pumps. After allowing it to do so for approximately 4 hours, the manager of the station called the police, and the case was forwarded to covert operatives and Cornwell. Operative excerpt. We chased it down this alley and just disappeared into thin air. I look over at Cornwell to ask if he saw anything, and he's white as a sheet. I ask him if he's okay, and he points back the way we came. I figure he's pointing which way he saw it go, so I make tracks out of the place, and then out of nowhere, I run into Cornwell, who's apparently surprised I am where I am, as I've somehow pointed in the direction of the thing's escape. Long story short, yes, we'd have some difficulty procuring the object of interest, so it impersonated Cornwell. Interesting. Transport materials requisition report. We had a storage van, aquarium, portable DVD player, a DVD for it to watch, hand dolly, and a tie-dye shirt. Or 4. Staff complaints. I walked into the staff restroom and that thing followed me in, so I asked it to leave. I thought it had gone. I was facing the urinal, and it walked up to the next one over and started impersonating me. I asked it to leave again, and it just smiled at me. Found it impossible to urinate while it was watching, requesting more strict containment. That is very frustrating. I left my lab this morning and discovered that not only had the door to the reagent storage room been locked, but a duplicate of the door itself had appeared across the hallway, complete in every way save for the lack of a mandated green stripe painted on the original, requesting more strict level of containment. Wow, Dr. Dallimore is having trouble with these things. It took the shape of my mattress, refused to elaborate, requesting more strict containment. While writing a letter of complaint about 424, my stationery crawled off the table and under a door. I gave up, requesting change of quarters or reassignment to another facility in a different country. I think 424 is getting smarter while writing on the results of non-essential experiment. The words I'd written with my now standard rainbow-cased pen begin to rearrange themselves. The little bastard had crawled right in and replaced the ink. I have to admit, though, it was quite amusing. I think I'm going to teach you to play Pictionary next week. Signed, Dr. Montgomery. So yes, it is a cute little guy who is imitating things and annoying Dr. Dallimore at the least. I hope you all enjoy the nano-mimes, even if Dr. Dallimore does not. Puppy of Interest 42 has returned. This time, why do we not give the puppy some delightful bellied rubs? That is a very good girl. Okay, I've returned chat, and now I'm going to catch up on the donations that came in while I was reading that SCP, and then we will move to the stream outro. Because we are currently about 7 minutes after the end of stream. So let's get to the end of the donos and get to the end of stream. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again. And you donated just a little more than Amber to get Everywhere I Go by Hollywood Undead back on the menu. So Ace of Luck has absconded the top dono placement to get their credit song chosen. They are back in the lead. Sigma Ohio, thank you for donating again to say. You have to get him fast, specifically alone. World, you could summon the Weeping God, which means you lose, but if you get them fast enough, you win. Are you still talking about that nothing corruption, nature corruption, Trollgy thing? Intern Ghost Eros, yes, the SCP Foundation is an LGBTQIA inclusive place. So the gays are okay here. Sigma Ohio, you said no very loudly. Did I miss something? Yes, I did. I see. I did miss something up here. Sigma Ohio, thank you for donating again. I didn't even see this one. I'm going to be honest, I don't think you win against a lone world unless you capture him fast. He can summon Weeping God, but you could win. Again, what is a lone world? Is this still part of that same thing you were talking about previously? A lone world. I guess this is still a lone word, Trollj. Trollj documentation wiki. A lone world is an incident which shows Trollj being stuck in his classroom, which forces him to crawl through the vents to get revenge on his principal. But Trollj unknowingly gets transported to a different empty dimension, which consists of liminal spaces, which he is now forced to roam forever. Well, now it's stuck in there, and that's no problem. Now it's contained. That's great for us, actually. I'm happy with this result. Intern Kepner, thank you for sending 15 sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will enjoy cleaning up yet another 15 glitter bombs. Intern Axolotl, thank you for sending 15 stars to the 16 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Beyond the 3 prestige ranks, you also made them a 4-star team. So they are now 1 star away from being a 5-star team as we go into the stream outro. And so Site 42 staff, after 3 hours and 10 minutes, this office hours is ending. And as we do at the end of every stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. But of course, I'm not going to tell you the SCPs I personally wrote are my favorites. That would be sheer narcissism, cheating. But if you want to read the SCPs I wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you're on my author page, one tab over, you'll find a list of links. Links that a lot of people are asking about in the chat all the time, and then they just don't think to go find the link when I tell them where it is. It's very sad for them. But not for you, Containment Hazard Assessment Team. You are clever. You'll find those links. And when you do, you'll also, besides seeing my SCPs, have the option to become a Site42 Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or a YouTube Super Chat to donate to us one at a time. Either way, direct donations are the quickest way to help out Site42, both for this attempt to go to this crazy expensive YouTuber convention and miss work for it, as well as just generally keeping Site42 running for myself and the rest of the Site42 staff. So we appreciate your generosity, both for our projects as well as our general site health. And if you are part of the Broke Gang, do not fret. We are an arts community. We greatly understand starving artists. And you can still be a member of Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename the Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, when you make fan art, memes, clips, edits out of context compilations, not just of us at Site42, but of the SCP projects we support. The SCP Wiki and its authors and artists. The SCP filmmakers, game devs, animators, podcasters, merch makers. When you support all of this, you are helping us to make bigger and better SCP projects in the future. SCP movies and theaters, SCP TV series, SCP cartoons, SCP AAA games. This is what we do when we do our work together. So we thank you for your service, Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename the Signal Boosters. Freddy Rules, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. You made them a 5-star team right at the end. Very nice. Excellent, excellent job, chat, on being a 5-star team. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one. It's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, content warning, last one's a rough read. So, Site42 staff, intern hiccup. Your proselytizing in my chat is unwanted. It is off subject of the SCP Foundation. Furthermore, you need to pick a Jesus. We contain 6 live iterations of Jesus Christ here at the SCP Foundation, and you haven't specified which one is your king. Are you a follower of Bread Jesus, Uber Driver Jesus, Cockblock Jesus, Vor Jesus, Jim Davis, creator of Garfield Jesus, or Milk Jesus, aka Jesus? Pick a Jesus, and then we'll talk about if you worshiping that is a mental illness for you or not. But actually, I don't care. Don't waste our time proselytizing in my chat. We consider it spam. So, Site42 staff, I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. This has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site42. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll meet you in the next video or stream. Oh, I need a lyric search on behalf of our top donor of the day. Everywhere I go, bitches always know the Charlie Senior's got a weenie that he loves to show. Bitch, everywhere I go, bitches always know The Charlie scene has got a weenie that he loves to show. Wake up, grab beer, grab rear, shave beard, put on some scene gear. Gotta get drunk before my mom wakes up. Break up with my girlfriend so I can bang sluts. I'm undead, unfed, been sleeping on bunk beds since 10, so I don't booze it. I'm gonna lose it. Everybody get to it, do it, get ruined. Let's get this party started. Let's keep them 40s popping. So just get buzzed and stay fucked up. We'll keep them panties dropping. Let's get this party started. Let's keep them 40s popping. So just get buzzed and stay fucked up. We'll keep them panties dropping. Ace of Luck, I hope you enjoyed your Hollywood Undead credit song. Be safe, be well. The credit song was at the donation request of Ace of Luck, Everywhere I Go by Hollywood Undead. I hope you enjoyed the vulgarity. Now, be safe, be well, Site 42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you at the next stream.